Introduction. Srila Narottam Das Thakur says, Heno Nitai Bine Bai Radha Krishna Paite Nai, that without the mercy of Lord Nityananda, no one can attain Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. The ultimate goal of life is the attainment of Krishna Prem. This is only possible by the mercy of Sadhu Guru. Sri Nityananda Prabhu is the sum total of all gurus, Samashti Guru. He is Guru Tattva. All individual gurus, Vyasti, are representations of Sri Nityananda. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in the Harmonist magazine about the manifestation of the Guru in the form of Sri Nityananda. The Guru is the embodiment of the manifestation of the divinity to the pure receptive spiritual essence of the disciple. Nityananda is the primary manifestive constituent of the divinity. Nityananda alone possesses the distinctive function of the Guru. In Nityananda, the function is embodied. Nityananda is the servant God. He serves Sri Gaurasundar by the distinctive method of reverential servitude. He is identical with Sri Balaram of Krishna Leela. Sri Balaram is not the chum of Krishna, but his respected elder brother. It is an intimate relationship characterized by becoming reserved on one side and of respectful deference on the other. Individual souls are under the direction of Nityananda. They receive their service of Sri Gaurasundar, i.e., of Krishna, at his hands. Nityananda is not a jiva. He is divinity. He is the ultimate source of the jiva. The jiva is a potency of Nityananda. No jiva can be the medium of the service of the Absolute to another jiva. The Absolute alone may communicate his service to the separable constituents of himself. This is the real nature of the function of the Guru. But Nityananda does not directly instruct in the confidential service of Krishna. Srimati Radhika is the Guru of the inner circle of the servants of Krishna. Srimati Radhika, however, accepts the offer of service only of those souls who are specially favored by Nityananda and are deemed by him to be fit for her service. There is, therefore, a most intimate relationship between the function of Nityananda and that of Srimati Radhika, which is at once supplementary to and inclusive of the former. But all jivas are not liable to be eclipsed by the deluding potency. Those who are so liable are again distinct from the eternally free jivas. The eternally free jivas are inseparable associates of Nityananda. They are integrated part and parcel of himself. They never fall into the clutches of Maya. When Nityananda manifests his appearance on the mundane plane, his inseparable constituents also appear in his company. They sometimes manifest their function on this lower plane in a visible form on the errands of Nityananda. They are Vaishnavas whose subordination to Nityananda is natural and ingrained in their nature. It is not necessary for such souls to undergo the process of enlightenment for being restored to the spiritual plane. Unless this fact is borne in mind, the conditioned soul may be tempted to undervalue the constant guidance of the Guru on the hypocritical plea of following in the footsteps of the eternally free, pure devotees. Those, therefore, who suppose that deliverance from the bondage of this world should be practicable without the constant guidance of the spiritual preceptor, confound the conditioned state with the free. There is no difference between Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. As Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram are essentially the same and original forms of Godhead, so Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, who are Krishna and Balaram directly, are one and the same. Lord Krishna manifested himself as a separate form of Lord Balaram for the performance of his own leelas and to benefit the jivas by showing them the path of developing loving service unto himself. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains that Lord Krishna is eternally enjoying himself in Goloka Vrindavan along with his unlimited associates. Lord Balaram, however, is the source of all spiritual and material manifestations. All the Narayan and Vishnu expansions come from Lord Balaram. As such, Lord Balaram is directly the source of all incarnations in this material world. As Lord Chaitanya's pastimes are much more pleasing than Krishna's pastimes, so Lord Nityananda's pastimes are much more pleasing than those of Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram was famous for his pastimes of chastising the miscreants, such as killing so many demons, being ready to throw the whole city of Hastinapur into the ocean, and the killing of Romaharshan Sutta. His form as Lord Nityananda, however, is known as Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Rai. He never gets angry. The form of Lord Nityananda is the most merciful form and the giver of Krishna Prem Bhakti. Lord Chaitanya himself declared in Sri Nityananda Charitamrita, Antyakand, chapter 3, those who develop love, affection, and respect for Sri Nityananda develop love and affection for me. All the demigods headed by Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma offer worship to Nityananda Swarup. If somebody thinks ill of Sri Nityananda or blasphemes him, whoever he may be, still he must fall down. Even if such a person professes to be a devotee of mine, he is not my devotee. Sri Nityananda Charitamrita is an authentic Vaishnava literature compiled by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. This book describes the transcendental glories of Lord Nityananda, the birth of Nityananda, his childhood pastimes, his leaving home, his traveling to holy places, his arrival at Navadvip and meeting Lord Chaitanya, his preaching the holy names of the Lord by the order of Lord Gauranga, his pastimes with Mahaprabhu at Nadia, his presence at the Lord's pastime of accepting sannyas, his accompanying the Lord to Nilachal, his return to Navadvip by the order of the Lord, his marriage, his distribution of love of God, and his disappearance from this world. All these subjects are elaborately and properly described in this book. The author of this book, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, is forever remembered in the Vaishnava communities for his wonderful literary work, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. The glories of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat were proudly described by the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in his book as follows. No human being can compose such a book. Actually, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks through the mouth of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 8:39. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat is the original book in Bengali language about the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Following the codes of Chaitanya Bhagavat, other books such as Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita were compiled. This present book contains what is presently in Chaitanya Bhagavat about Lord Nityananda, but Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has given additional information. This includes the affection of Hadai Pandit for Lord Nityananda, the marriage of Vasudha and Janava with Lord Nityananda, and the disappearance of Lord Nityananda. Therefore, this book, Sri Nityananda Charitamrita, is very similar to Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. This book, giving an exclusive narration of the pastimes of Lord Nityananda, will serve as a great inspiration for communities of Vaishnavas, especially from the English-speaking world. Signed, Isvara Das. Completed January 31st, 2000, Vrindavan Dham, India.